Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another stream. Good morning. Good morning. Alrighty, as normal, as usual, wait a couple of minutes and then we're going to get rocking and rolling. We got a few stocks to take a look at. As always, I guess that never really changes. Few earnings reports, actually quite a few earnings reports. Didn't have time to look at everything this morning, but got a good idea as far as what's most likely going to be moving. John, yep, QCOM reported they are moving. BXC I haven't seen this morning. PCG I haven't seen this morning. JB Hunt I haven't seen this morning. Good morning I have seen this morning. Good morning. Alrighty, so for me it's Roku, Baba, Expedia, maybe Qualcomm, maybe some of the ones you guys mentioned, but for now it definitely Baba, Roku, and Expedia. Yes. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, let's get into it. So I'm going to just go full screen here. Let's do that. And we are going to take a look at, we'll start here with Roku since we're on Roku. So Roku obviously dropped 20 points per share after hours. So it did the expected move it was supposed to have, a 20-point drop. Anyways. It gapped up a little bit here this morning because the overall market gapped up. Now we're kind of down a bit. So personally, let me actually change the way this looks. Give me a second. Appearance access. Let's do 100. There we go. So if we look at like a 4-hour chart, pretty much the way that the earnings report came through and broke through all of this support over here on the chart tells us that there's a lot of strength to the downside off the report move. So we would anticipate that it's probably going to break about 118, 119, 170, 17, whether it's today, tomorrow, or the next couple days. So right now, keeping an overall outlook short bias on the stock because we broke this mid support level very strong and now we're down towards this one. We would expect that we're going to see a move below the 118 mark. So for today, I'll remain short bias on Roku to start, then maybe long bias on like a bounce or something. But ultimately today, staying short bias on Roku, and I'll remain short bias on Roku for the next couple days until this chart starts to tell me something otherwise. So pretty straightforward. There is the bounce here down at the low after hours at 117.63, so that will most likely try to hold as some type of support. Normally that after hours low is going to try and hold a little bit of a support system. So if it comes down and it won't break here, then you're probably looking at a little bit of a reversal or a bounce. So that's kind of the key level that we'll be paying attention to the downside there on Roku today. Okay, next one on the list is Baba once again. So if you guys have been watching the stream for the past couple days, and you guys would know, we've really been watching Baba closely for a move over this 183 and then a move over the 180. Was it just this one? Might have been just that guy. Huh. Yeah. Here. Yeah, so we've really been looking for a move over this 184 mark. It finally happened yesterday. And today, with the way the market has opened up, how strong it is, we're starting to gap to the upside over that resistance and over that previous top. And the reason that's resistance here is because if you look back, that's where this previous top was. And we're just getting through that. And so we're opening up with a strong gap over that level with a strong market today. And Baba just had earnings, got really fakey here, and then it grinded up. Now strong market open gap over the resistance. I think we got a good chance at watching Baba run today. And with the way it's set up pre-market, so far it looks very, very strong. I have no reasons to believe that it should be going down personally. So we're going to be following Baba closely, very closely long bias today. Yeah, I like that better than Roku. I like it better than Expedia. I like Baba better than most of the stocks that I've looked at today, ironically, that are earnings reports. That typically wouldn't happen. So then again, it's never a good idea to fall in love with the stock or the way something looks because you can always be thrown for a curveball. So I am being open-minded that I could very well be wrong still, but so far things do seem promising, and we're going to keep Bob on a close watch. All right, next one, and then I'll get to a couple questions here. EXPE, that's the one, right? Yeah, Expedia. Expedia is another one I'm keeping an eye on. So really, I may or may not watch this, right? So Expedia is kind of the one where it's definitely a toss-up for me still now. I could very well exchange Expedia out for something like Qualcomm, or maybe change Expedia out for, AMD or something. So Expedia is kind of a toss-up here for me, whether or not I will watch it. What I do like about it is that it did have a really bad move down, right? You can see it goes from 135 all the way down to 116. That's a big move down, pretty scary. So far, it still looks relatively bearish. There's really not any support on the stock down until, support really starts where it started to bounce at about 116, but really it's all the way down at like 114. So I don't know, maybe this will have a little bit of a down move, and if not, we might see a pretty strong bounce back. So it's something to consider. And there's no bearish divergence on the stock here this morning. So anyways, it's a toss-up. Maybe I'll watch Qualcomm instead. We'll see. All right. Roku's drops seems excessive. It's a big drop. It's not really excessive at all, because that's exactly how much it was supposed to drop. If you do your research, because that sounds just like something an asshole would say. But no, if you know to look at a stock's expected move before the earnings report, then you would see that this move really isn't. It's definitely a big move. Don't get me wrong, but it's not anything that the market hadn't already anticipated. I want to say we were all, because again, that sounds like an asshole thing to say, but I was ready for the move that happened. The move that happened, I was knowing of it, and members in our premium group knew of it too. We knew that Roku was expected to move about 20 something points, and it's nothing like secretive or anything. It's just the implied move in the options market, which is super easy to find, by the way. It's nothing too crazy. I could literally do it right now. I should do it right now. Give me a second. Okay, this won't be exact, I don't think, because of the time of day we're doing this, since it's in the morning, but we could look at Roku real fast. It's close, but not really. So if you see this number up here, you can see it says 1892. That right there is the price. Well, it's not right now. But anyway, it's because it's the morning and the report already happened. But if we were looking at this all yesterday, right before the market closed for Roku, this would have said like 20, 22, or 21 or something. And if you were to look at the at-the-money call and at-the-money put and add those both together, it would come out very close to that number right there. So you can go just before market close whenever a stock is about to report earnings and look at that number right there, and that is the expected move that the stock is probably or looking or expected to make after hours when the report happens, or early in the morning when the report happens. So we knew that it was probably going to make that move, and it did. Okay. Good morning. No Tesla. Oh, you know what? Tesla might be a good one to watch. It had a really good move yesterday, late day. So yeah, it could have something. I haven't looked at it yet. It's really not in a great formation anymore. Really the formation was hard to spot yesterday. The formation really happened midday yesterday or late day, so most people didn't even catch it. You could watch it long bias. It's really not the greatest setup though. It's not set up at all, actually. It's just a bounce move up towards the previous high. Or previous top that it put in. So really the formation isn't, it could. So let me put it this way. The formation can run you up all the way to 340. The likelihood it does, it's very unlikely. Where we're sitting at now makes more sense, because you can see from a topping standpoint, this is where all the candles are. The candle here, body candle there, right? Top wick here. The wick all the way up there was just price action that ended up coming all the way down. But the actual body candles of the move stopped right there. And so you're starting to see a wick candle right there. So you're already starting to see resistance well before the 340 mark up there. It could get up there by all means, but you're already starting to see weakness in the price action right about the body candle. So again, don't expect this just to rip through 340. It probably won't. What you'll most likely see is it either top out here, top out a little bit higher, then it's going to pull back, and then it's going to channel for a bit, and then you might get a bullish pennant formation, and then it will be ready to break out. So I wouldn't expect any sort of breaking out moves over 340 remotely close until at least another week and a half or something like that. 2 weeks maybe. Okay. Tesla cup formation. Long on Roku after hours or after earnings. Would you please review Uber? All righty. What about good old Ubi? All right. So Uber had earnings. Was that 2 days ago? Well, today is a day, and another day, and this was from like 3 days ago. Would that be Monday? Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yep. Okay. That was a big buy. A lot of people buying down there at 25. Why don't I have RSI on this chart? I didn't. Oh, hold on. I mean, yeah, there's really nothing I would say here. I mean, if anything, really you're just the only play you could be watching on Uber right now is a reversal long play. There is no bullish divergence. There is really no divergence at all right now, so you can't play a long play off a divergence setup. So right now you're basically just watching a stock falling, trying to catch a bottom, hoping that it reverses. So only thing you can really do right now is just watch the price action, play Uber by ear. It will most likely have some type of bounce back. It won't just keep falling normally. Good morning, Sean. Yes. Can you see Square? Yeah, we will actually talk about Square. I'll touch on that before we head out here this morning. Why do you trade shares versus options? Preference? Just preference. I'm just more comfortable with shares rather than doing options. I mean, I could trade options. I normally don't. But yeah, just something comfortability-wise. CNST up over 93%. Your thoughts? Don't trade it. Those are my thoughts. Are you going to buy the dip? I don't know what stock you'd be referring to at this point, but yes, buying the dip is a good thing to do. But I don't know what stock you're referring to at this point since we've talked about so many. So maybe as you send in another question, I can figure that out. I will take a look at SQ. Okay, give me a second. Lost my place as normal. Tesla, Netflix. How do I access the premium, pay for membership, text at Discord, room, no response yet? If you responded just within if you reached out to me on Discord within the past 15, 20 minutes that I've been online here, so I wouldn't be able to see it. But I went through all the messages this morning, so if you messaged me well earlier this morning, then you should be taken care of. If not, then I'll be back online on Discord in just a little bit. All right. Thoughts on MPW, BXC. Okay, I'll take a look at BXC. Give me a second. Okay, so wow, that would have been a beautiful short yesterday. Gosh. Would have been pretty much impossible to find anyway, so. So BXC had earnings report yesterday. Got absolutely smoked. Broke through support there, has a gap to fill all the way down. I wouldn't be long biased in it or even consider being, I would start considering the idea of maybe being long biased, but it has a gap to fill all the way down to about $16, so I'd be bearish on it indefinitely until 16. Think Twitter will go above 30 by January. I mean, it could, but you don't really need to try and pick a time frame. I mean, if you're trading options, then maybe it will. But see, something like that is I don't worry about time frame. I try not to worry about time frame so much because that is like the ultimate crystal ball. Yes, I think that Twitter has good chances of going up. Will it be up over a price by a certain date? I have no idea. And I don't care to know because I can know it when it starts happening, right? So that would be my kind of philosophy behind that scenario, or question, shall I say. At our first red/green days, first red day, first green day, usually after either 4 consecutive red or green days on the daily, PG only. So yeah, let me rephrase this. You're going to get a first red day, first green day type scenario after a really big impulsive parabolic or just really big move has happened in the stock and it's been overextended away from any sort of moving average or support to the point where people are starting to get afraid of actually buying the stock up at those prices without seeing some sort of pullback. And that would be a situation where you're going to start to see a first red day, first green day type situation. So yeah, the stock has to be super extended to the upside or super extended to the downside, creating the which then creates the illusion that the stock is overbought or oversold. So then buyers like me or like you don't want to buy something up or continue selling something down, and we get ready to cover a short, or we get ready to sell into long positions, and then it'll create a top. But yeah, you're right. More after like a couple days of running to the upside or downside. Yes. Psychology of trading video. I don't even think I can do a psychology of trading video because it would just be so long. There's so much to talk about. And that's kind of the problem with me is like when I start talking about one thing, I can't really just stop at one thing because one thing ties into another thing and then that thing ties into another thing. And then before you know it, you're just down this rabbit hole of information. You're like, where do I even end and start and begin? So it's very hard for me to organize videos like that in a manner that people can digest because it's just, there's so much to know that it all ties into one. So I'd have to find a way to kind of break it down into segments properly. But I mean, yeah, it's something to look forward to in the future. I could probably do it. Yeah, of course, I could do anything I want. I could do it. All right, Pcg Earnings today. I thought they did earnings the other day. That was just me, okay. Let me guess, they're going bankrupt because it's going to be hard to fix half of the state of California. Just kidding. I have no idea. All right, PCG. Yeah, earnings. I mean, yeah, you could watch it. I'm not going to. There's so many other things that I could watch a day that I mean, yes, it could have good moves, but I'm not even going to worry myself with this because right now the setup doesn't even look all that great. The formation of the chart doesn't look great. It's not easy to read. It's not easy to understand. So this is probably going to come down to like some type of intraday 1 minute, 5 minutes type of setup, which you wouldn't be able to find out right now. You'd only have to wait until market opens. So the setup here really isn't even that great. I mean, there is something that kind of has going for it. There is like a slight, long divergence here from that low to that low and from this bottom, but so slight that I wouldn't even really respect it. So I'd probably just be on standby with PCG, honestly. Do you think they're going to get crushed? I don't know who you're referring to, but sure. Good morning. Twitter bought a put and losing money on it. Should I sell or hold it till it expires in the 1 month? That is entirely up to you. If you can afford to lose the money, then hold it. If you can't afford to lose the money, then don't hold it. If you think that Twitter is gonna make it to the price it needs to make so that you can make money, then hold it. But if you don't, then I would close it. Again, it's really all up to you. Managing a trade is far more than just hearing my idea on a stock. Managing a trade really comes down to everything that it is about you that made you want to take the trade and make you want to take a trade off. If you don't know where you're going to, and that's another problem. If you're in a trade and you're trying to guess whether or not you should be taking something off, then you probably shouldn't be in the trade in the first place because you should have an idea as far as where you'd probably exit a trade if it was going against you. So that's a big no-no. So next time you do kind of go about trading something, always have an idea as far as where you'd most likely want to take the position off if it's not doing what you want, because at that point then you realize you're most likely wrong. That's the advice I'd have for you on that particular situation. LXRX might have nice moves today. Maybe it does. What's good with PCG? Why did it drop yesterday towards close? It really didn't drop that much yesterday towards close. It really dropped a lot in the morning at open, but yesterday at close didn't really do much. But it also reported earnings, so that might be what you're referring to. Cub and Tesla handle, make a handle now. Let's see. Do you only trade one stock at a time? Sometimes I have a couple positions opens on stocks, but that would be very rarely because chances are, most of the time, most of the time I'll be trading one stock or have one position open at any given time. Occasionally I might have a couple positions open at a single time that I'm monitoring, but I'm always watching more than one stock at one time. Martina, you literally asked that same question, I think, earlier, and the response was, if you have reached out to me on Discord, then in the past 20, 30 minutes, and I would not have gotten the message because I've been here on YouTube. But if you messaged me way earlier this morning or last night, then I would have gotten to the message already. And I will know so when I get back to my computer and back on Discord. Google possible breakout. Possible. But first, let's take a look at Square because we got about 5 minutes to go. Square is also something else I was going to keep on watch today. It's just not mentioned in the watch list. So far, today's formation in the chart really isn't all that great. Doesn't really give me a warm, fuzzy feeling to be long or short. So this is simply one where I'd probably play it by year. The first two levels to go off of would be the most intermediate short-term levels, which are, pretty much right here, like 62.95 and, at 61.46. Those are the two short-term levels that make sense for traders to follow for a breakout above or a breakdown below. So those would be the two levels that I would look for the most. Deciding which level it picks to go to first can only be determined by looking at the intraday, pretty much 1 minute chart, and how it forms and the way the price action is trading before it moves to. So the move could start here and go to here, start here, then go down to here. But you only know by watching or following a smaller time frame for the formation and the pricing and the movement before it obviously does it. But those would be the two levels I pay attention to for now. Because a break above can put you up towards the pre-market high, and a break below could have you pressing down towards these pre-market lows or lower. So yeah, in the intermediate time, those would be the two main levels I'd pay attention to first. BNGO test pre-market high today? Probably not. I mean, it could, but probably not with the way that it's formed. It just doesn't. It's not a promising formation. I mean, I don't know. I got to check. It's been a while since I looked, but based on what I seen earlier, I would suggest probably not. It could. I mean, they got earnings coming up after hours. Yeah, no, probably not. It probably won't come back up to the pre-market high today, most likely. Could, but I'd say probably not. Then again, penny stocks do some weird things sometimes, but the formation really isn't that great. It is formed in a way to have like maybe a little push like soon, but I wouldn't bank on it. Oh yeah, ATVI. Haven't seen that one for about maybe 1 or 2 days. Are we finally getting up to the level? No. I mean, it could be, but probably not. It's not. I already know it's not because we have earnings coming up after hours. So earnings report is going to be what they use to make the move over the resistance and fill the gap. So yeah, it's most likely going to be the earnings report that makes the move for us. So you won't even get a chance to trade the breakout and that gap fill that we've been waiting for the past couple weeks. The formation is there. It is actually a bullish move into earnings. So the way that we're forming so far on ATVI would give me the initial idea that we're probably going to see a long move off earnings. But yeah, if you look at I just got to zoom out or the daily chart. Yeah, so we have this gap fill up here. So not what I suspect, what I already know. I can almost guarantee this. If the earnings are good and the stock's meant to move higher, they're going to use the earnings report to fill that gap move. It's exactly what's going to happen. If it's bad, it's going to drop out. And if it drops out, then we're definitely not going to be filling the gap anytime soon anyways. So the likelihood that they use the earnings report to move the stock up to fill that gap up towards 62.50 is probably very good. And you'll know so by the end of the day when you look at the options chain and you see the expected move to be about like 5 or 6 points. If the expected move is like 4 to 6 points, then that would be pretty much the distance from here to here. And that's what they're going to use the gap fill. So probably won't even get to trade it. Shame. Did we go over? We did go over square. Is it time to buy square? It could be. Please review BXC. We already went over BXC earlier, but maybe it's just, maybe I just didn't get that question for a long time. Why do these? They always do that. Weird. All right, 9 o'clock. Thoughts on Twitter? Right now, I'm just short-term bearish, no bullish on Twitter for now. It's losing its bullishness to me. Why do I prefer Baba? Just because the formation, I follow Baba mainly. JD could also be good, but I mainly follow Baba. It's pretty much why. Also, Epstein didn't kill himself. You're correct. We all know that. The Clintons killed him. I probably shouldn't have said that. I won't be on stream tomorrow now. I'll probably be hanging somewhere, unfortunately. I don't know, by like a shoelace or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just wind up, laying in my bed, committed suicide with 2 gunshot wounds to the back of my head. Yeah, I decided to commit suicide with a gun and shoot myself in the back of the head, but I shot myself twice in the back of the head because I wanted to make for sure that I was dead after shooting myself in the head the first time. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I know. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enough of the conspiracies. Actually, no, there's never enough. That's not even a conspiracy at this point. But enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, thank you guys again for tuning in. Always got to end it on a little bit of a funny note with some humor there. Sets the day off for a good tone. So anyways, see you guys tomorrow on Friday for another watch list, another trading day. And other than that, everybody take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the other side.